Hey guys, we're back with another election prediction. This time we have Pete Buttigieg. He's currently in the cabinet. He's the Secretary of Transportation under the Joe Biden administration versus former President Trump. So, one good thing about Pete Buttigieg is he's pretty much more popular than Harris, and I think he's a bit more charismatic than her too. He lasted longer in the 2020 Democratic primary than Harris by a pretty. He made it. He did pretty good with an Iowa caucus. He won the most delegates there. He lasted a lot longer than Harris, and he's just overall probably a better debater than Harris. So if Biden was not running and it was an option between Pete and Kamala Harris, honestly, you'd probably end up going with Pete because I just think he for sure outshines her just with charisma alone and debate skills. I think he'd do a lot better than her. But I don't know if he would win against Trump, so we're going to see that. So let's immediately go and start out with Ohio and Iowa. Now, Iowa, he did do pretty well there, and he does have a bit of a connection there with the old people. He did pretty well with the Iowa caucus. Iowa's a pretty old state, but I don't think it's enough to get it to lean. I think it'll probably be a 7 to 8 point margin, or maybe even 9 points against Pete Buttigieg. It'll be interesting to see how well he'll be able to do here, but I still think he'll end up losing the state by a pretty decent margin. Now, the state of Ohio, I just think it'll probably go solid for Trump. I think Pete Buttigieg would do a lot better in Iowa than Ohio, but Ohio would probably end up losing by around 10 points. Could go down to 9.5, but I think it'll be over 10% victory for Trump in that state. Texas also, I don't think Pete Buttigieg had the best connection to Latino voters, so I'll definitely hurt him in this state and Florida as well. Just that lack of an appeal to Latino voters definitely going to hurt him in both these areas here. He's a bit of your standard Democrat, so he'll do good in Virginia, Colorado, and New Mexico, all winning these states by likely margins. However, it is a bit of a regression because he's winning them by under 10%, which Biden won all these three of these states by over 10. So just how the national environment's going, it's swinging to Republicans a bit. Let's head to, let's see here. Let's do Maine and New Hampshire. Maine, I think he'll probably carry it by a lead margin. Trump will probably win Maine second by likely, not over 10%, because I do think he'll be able to do decently in those the rural area in Maine second. In New Hampshire, I think he would kind of outperform Biden here, believe it or not. I think he would probably carry this state against Trump. He did well in the primary here, and he's appeals himself as a moderate type of Democrat. I think he could pretty much pull a convincing victory here, probably win it by 2 to 3% against Donald Trump. Let's head to, let's do the South, Georgia and North Carolina. Let's finish up there. North Carolina, I don't think he has the best appeal among African American voters, so I think he'll lose this state by 5 to 6 points. Georgia, again, that lack of appeal with African American voters will probably end up making him lose this state by 1.5 to 2.5% margin, I would say. State of Arizona and Nevada. Arizona, again, I don't think he has the best appeal with just moderate conservatives here like Joe Biden did. I think he'll probably be seen as more liberal than Joe Biden by the voters here, and that's why he'll lose the state by a lead margin. And again, that lack of appeal of Latinos in Nevada, that's also going to hurt him there. It's also going to make him lose that state by a tilt margin. But we have the few Rust Belt states here. He still has a shot. Minnesota, I do think he'll be able to carry this just by appealing himself as a moderate candidate. I think he'll be able to carry the state by 3 to 4 points. However, he'll lose the state of Wisconsin and the election to Donald Trump here just with losing that state. Nebraska's second. He's the right type of candidate to actually win that district. He's a lot more appealing to it than Harris is, so we'll give him that. Pennsylvania and Michigan. Pennsylvania, I also think he'll probably end up losing by a lead margin. And Michigan, it'd probably be the closest out of all the Rust Belt states. Be a close margin, but he'll still end up losing it to Donald Trump. So that's my election prediction. It was Pete Buttigieg versus Trump. Let me know what you think of this in the comments below. Peace out, guys.